Welcome to the Divorce Devil Podcast. I'm David.
And I'm Rachel. Follow us as we dive into all the positive and negatives of post-divorce recovery. Stay tuned for some real and sometimes raw end-of-the-road divorce topics. Please put on your big pants because we're full of honesty, authenticity, and irrefutable truths.
This progressive podcast ain't for the faint-hearted. Enjoy. Welcome, everybody out there, to Divorce Devil episode 67.
I feel like if it doesn't start with me laughing, it's not really our plan.
Today we're talking about...
How do you get past the hurt, anger, and disappointment of divorce?
Because sometimes anger, hurt, and disappointment comes with divorce.
No, really? Is that what happens?
Yes.
Wait, it's not like carnival?
Yes.
Carnival?
No.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like...
So we were talking about our point of view. What point of view are we missing?
Yeah.
Something that's funky fresh. Someone that's just straight up rip off the Band-Aid right out of it.
Yeah.
Plucking
them out you've got mail. You're getting divorced.
We should get, what was her name? Kathy back. Angela back and see how's it going.
Don't worry.
Yes.
We do know your name.
Yeah. Are we going to get Angela back?
We should. Angela, you want to come back?
Yeah.
When I send her this one, I'll be like, hey, listen to this podcast right now.
Yeah, because we want you to
let us know.
Anyway.
Her stories are so fun. we went to lunch with my oldest son and his girlfriend and Logan and Lance and her. With Angela.
Yes.
And some of this, it's like story time. It's really
Is it like the dating stories or what?
Yeah, and just crazier stuff with her ex and the girlfriend. And I'm just like, what is happening? Like, it's one of those where you're like, oh, okay.
Just sit back and just watch the chaos.
I'm like, but then it also makes me remember my chaos.
Yeah.
So you're like, I went through phases of that. Like, our big thing was money, financial stuff too. Financial stuff along with some crazy, threats. And the crazy threats caused me to have my first anxiety attack and not knowing how to deal with that because I've never personally done it, even though I'm in the profession I am. I've talked people through their anxiety. When you're in the midst of that chaos and you don't see any out, how do you get past that hurt? Like, you know what? You made me be so emotionally like drained and done, and I had nothing left, that my body responded like passing out. My blood pressure was like, I was dead, like, and then my son had to see that. So now I'm angry that you put me through that my son had to see that. Our son had to see that.
So do you lean into the pain and say, hey, enough's enough? Do you hit that rock bottom and say, hey, I am done with this. It's time for me to jump out of this.
Not right at the beginning, though. Like, not right when
But you do eventually.
Well, and this
because you're here.
Yeah, and this was like, I had only been talking to Lance for like 2 weeks, and I was on the phone with him, and my ex is texting me at the same time, and he says all this horrible things like,
easy, quit moving that arm. Yes.
Am I shaking the table?
No, you're shaking the screen and shaking my camera.
I thought you said your body.
No,
Woo!
No, just my camera, honey.
Hands up.
Baby. Yep.
No, so like when you're first in it, like I was on the phone with Lance and he's texting me and my son's next to me and I'm doing all this stuff. And my whole body was like trying not to show my pain and my pissed offness.
Because you got sucked in.
Because I did. I was like, okay, so this guy right now is literally making me have to get angry. So now I'm more angry that you made me get mad. So my son, I was like, but I'm going to pass out. Like, go get help. You need to get help. So now my little guy is having to go upstairs to where I was staying and like get help, ambulance, all this other stuff. And then I don't remember some of it because I just blacked out. Like, it's easier to black out right now than have to deal with what he's saying on here. Now I have evidence too, though, but this comes further. How do I not just live in that anger of like, you did this to me, it's your fault, blah, 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 and get to that next step? Well, it really is being honest with your partner. I let him get to me.
Yeah.
I let his words that at the time I knew they were just threats, like empty threats.
But you had to go through that. You have to go through that bottom out phase.
And the thing was, he was using our son to get to me. And that was the only thing that I had happiness for at that moment. I mean, I had other things to be happy about. Like, talking to Lance and doing this stuff and had a job.
But
that
at what point did you figure out, say, hey, I need to be a little bit tougher exterior, you know?
It took me a long time.
But when you have that tough exterior, you work against the hurt, anger, and disappointment.
Yeah, but sometimes that tough exterior, those walls that you put up, you don't allow healing in. Yeah. And I mean, I don't know.
So it's a give and go there.
Yeah, so it's almost like you open the door a little bit and then someone's a jerk. And then you open the door a little bit and
Thriller.
And the zombies on the other side are like...
Zombies. Divorce zombies.
Yes. And it's like life suckers. Like, it really fucks with your brain. Like, seriously, like, he's...
That's
okay, people,
good.
if you're not watching on YouTube, he is doing the thriller. It's like...
Yeah. Yeah. So we call those the divorce zombies.
Zombies, yeah. Well, because it's mindless, too. It's a mindless...
Stop doing that. You're on camera.
I know. I have a dry nose.
I know,
this
but you're
weather,
like,
this
but
wind.
You turned into Miss Piggy, so stop.
It's okay. Yeah. She got the frog. Yeah. And then the frog turned into the prince, right?
I think they got divorced, though.
No.
Yes. They had the thriller.
Shut it. Miss Piggy and Kermit are...
Everybody's divorced. Come on now.
Oh, we should have them on our show. That was pretty good. I mean, I can do the princess.
Who's your daddy?
Miss Piggy, apparently.
Well, it depends on, yeah.
Wait, this podcast, I love it. I'm just saying, like, if it helps nobody else, it helps us.
Thriller, Miss Piggy, Kermit the Frog.
If you can't tell out there, we have a little touch of ADD.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, add, some MULP, some multiplication, some SUB.
NFTs.
And a little bit of any.
Stock market.
Yes.
Audis? Yeah. Oh, Audis are best. I like me Audis. It's a great car. If you're not laughing with us, at least laugh at us.
We couldn't have done this online on Riverside. God, it just wouldn't have clicked.
Because, the screen. Where were we?
Oh, no. I was talking about Miss Piggy getting divorced and taking all of Kermit's money.
Well, what if Kermit took all of her money? Because she had her own money.
I know.
I mean, she was fabulous in her own self.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, getting back to where we were, I think what it was is when you build up those walls and a little bit comes in and out, like the zombies, it makes that hard exterior.
Where's your phone, just in case she shows up?
Your heart. Yep. The hard exterior becomes, that thing that, when you do eventually start healing, people, like with Lance, there was a lot of times where I just kept that up going, he needs to prove to me that he's not going to hurt me like all the other people have.
But it made him work more. So the fact that you work more, that your relationship is stronger, I think. I
think, too, that the fact that he didn't really have to work at being a great person to me.
He was already a great person.
Yeah, and he understood, like, where I was coming from because he had been divorced before me, like a couple months before me. And because it was almost like the no fucks. He's like, you know what? That doesn't affect you right now. If it's not affecting you right now, then all you're going to do is worry about it. And so a lot of times when I was like, nope, walls up, that's it. Well, you're not healing from that, and you're not.
But you can heal from that once you put the walls up. There is some healing when you put the walls up because you're
not allowing.
You're compartmentalizing. Ooh, I said that word. Well, I don't believe it. Compartmentalizing.
Yeah.
Yourself, which is what men do a lot. That they're able to put in compartments, and so I deal with that later. I heal with that later. So you can heal from compartmentalizing.
So it's like organizing your thoughts.
Yes.
But also, when you close that all off, you're not actually healing. You're just moving forward, and then those will come back and bite you. And that's what was happening to me. Like I still do that. Like something will bother me, I'll take it in.
But it's less and less, though.
Yeah, and then like we said, my anniversary came up. I'm like, it would have been okay.
Cool.
Like last year would have been like, like I would have been married this many years, like 25 years, and blah blah blah. Now
but time lets you let go of things more and more and easier.
Well, and knowing, again, I always say going back to knowing your worth and your value and what you bring to any relationship. And I don't just mean romantic. I mean like my relationship with my son. What was my main goal for him? To be the least amount affected from his parents being divorced. What was my goal with my ex-husband? Not fighting and not putting ourselves in this and not putting our kids in that divorce. Like, I also think like, how much of your divorce stuff should your kids know? Like a lot of people are like, your dad did this and you did this and blah, blah, blah. And we have to go to court and now he's going to ask for this and he doesn't want to pay for you and he doesn't want to buy you new shoes and he doesn't want to do that. Blah,
don't
blah,
they
blah.
tell you don't use the kids as
But
pawns?
there's little tidbits that will come in and be like, I just bought him shoes like you buy him shoes. Or I just bought him spring, summer, winter, fall clothes. You need to buy spring, summer, winter, fall. And that is not trying to affect the kid, but it affects the kid in a little bit. Like,
Yep.
I'm not going to ask for anything because I don't want mom or dad to be upset.
To fight
Yeah,
over
so-
me. Yep.
When we say don't put your kids in it, it really goes in so many different areas, different paths. Like, my son's in hockey. And for a while, I couldn't afford for him to play $8,000 hockey, and so that travel stuff gets expensive. Getting hotels every weekend and air flights and all this. And so now he's back in hockey. And it was never, because you want to do this, I can't do it because I don't have it. It was, you know what, we're going to take a break from it. COVID was here, blah, blah, blah. And we
How
made
convenient.
it not about him.
Yep.
We made it about like, let's just be safe, blah, blah, blah. And he was okay with that. He still did baseball outside, everything, but, and now he's back in it, loves it. It's a thing, we work together to get it paid for. And, it was definitely trying to figure out what we had and what we could give and how it would work and what's our priority. Again, our son.
So what I'm hearing you say that over time, the hurt, anger, disappointment all kind of waned. I don't think they ever go away.
No.
Even like after 11 years for Big Daddy here, the hurt, anger, and disappointment are
Well, new
still there a
topics
little
come
bit.
up too.
Yeah. But they get diluted.
Yeah.
They get diluted, I think. And my thing, they get diluted.
So why are they diluted? Because you give no fucks. And you don't have to forgive anybody. And if someone's
break out the no fucks.
oh yeah, here
Yeah,
you go.
there you go. Just show it to the camera.
Where's
there.
the camera?
Right there.
Okay. Oh,
Ooh, there you go. Dang.
I don't know. Can you see it?
Yep. Up high. Perfect.
Cover my face.
So,
Perfect.
So what does that mean?
You have a face for radio.
Yeah. Zero fucks giving.
Yeah.
But that's part of the healing is when you give zero fucks.
Yeah, and without like saying any recent stuff, like my car broke, like my truck broke and the 4-wheel drive something. I just had to pay all this money for a part. Well, my ex is like, hey, my company has this mechanic. He's willing to look at it for free. So that was working together where it was like it before it'd be like, all right, you're not paying me, so I can't afford to get my car fixed, blah, 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 blah. Well, I make my own money too, but the fact that I got the old beater car, he got the new car in the divorce, he gets to stay where we lived. He gets to do all this stuff because he made more money or he had.
That's okay though.
Now it's just like, oh, thank you. I appreciate it. So like it really worked out where, he had his mechanic do it, fix it up. Well, you also can, like in a situation, maybe someone we know is having, your kids are angry at you for something that your wife did, blah, blah, blah. And you're disappointed, but
not like you would be.
You give no fucks because it's not your problem. It's on them. And you also know that if they're going to come back, they're going to come back. Like you've always told me, like, it'll work out. It'll work out. And if it doesn't, you're okay because you've healed enough from that hurt, that anger, and the disappointment and
definitely
figured out what you're taking in it. How does this affect you now?
Is it even important to you?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you know what? You're always going to love them and you're always going to like do for them. And, my older son is now talking to me and it's very one sentencey. Like, hey, I love you. I miss you. Hey, I love you. I miss you. And it's one step and I'm going to take what I can get, but I'm not expecting anything.
Yeah.
Because I honestly love him more than life itself. But I'm not going to let that affect the love for myself. Because then I can't be...
If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of other people.
I can't be given any fucks. They're going to like hurt my happiness or my heart.
What was it? Find your happiness, get your happiness, accept your happiness, do your happiness. Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
I know.
I mean, you get some really good ones. I mean...
Every now and then.
Yes. Compartmentalize? What? I've been reading books.
No.
No picture books?
Picture books. Yeah, the one that says Penthouse and Playboy.
Ooh, centerfold.
Yeah, I thought it would never happen to me.
I'm reading it for its divorce. What did I say? The divorce articles.
There should be like a divorce sex book, like a divorce. You know what I mean?
No. What?
Like a divorce. Okay, so you have these sex books.
Explain yourself right now.
God, right on it. So like Penthouse, Playboy. There should be like a
Divorce
Devil Girl magazine. Yeah.
I mean, let's
and
get it.
Divorce Guy.
We could take pictures. We could do interviews.
Yes. And
On
it
the
would be
streamers.
very literarily based. Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
The pictures.
Yeah.
Pictures say 1,000 words.
And then the pictures would be like real pictures, a little bit of flab, a couple of chins, it'd be real, not that young stuff.
No, have you seen newly divorced women? They are fine. We it just all like God's like, okay, you're going through this sadness. I'm gonna make you hot again.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
You want me to show you some pictures? I didn't always look like this. When Lance met me, I was at my prime.
Yes.
I mean, I wasn't eating, and my teeth were falling out. But
I was at my prime.
Meth, divorce, whatever you decide. Kama Sutra in the library. I mean,
hey. See, that's another one. I could give all my theories and my knowledge
of serial dating
into the magazine. Yeah, there'll be different chapters. Chapter 1, serial dating. Chapter 2.
You've heard it here, people.
More serial dating.
A book is coming.
Chapter 3.
A magazine.
The magazine, yes.
Scratch and sniff.
Wow.
I don't know why that came to my head. I literally thinking what would be cool? Look, it smells like a magic marker, I swear.
You'll have to go to the 2-week-old fish store and get some.
Oh, now my eyes are watering. Okay.
Maybe get like some Fred Flintstone push-ups. Yeah.
I'm thinking cereal, like Fruity Pebbles, Frosted Flakes, little Captain Crunch.
Blah, blah, blah.
I want to suck your blood, I swear. Zombies.
Yeah. Count Chocola.
What happens to us? Is there a special air in here?
Count Chocola is good cereal.
Are you putting extra oxygen or nitrous?
Nitrous, yeah. There's a little tube of nitrous behind the monitor.
I see unicorn. I might have to hit that. I'm eating the nitrous.
Oh my God.
Wait, what are we doing?
Why do we get crazy, man?
I'm telling you, there's something in the air.
We're trying to help.
That's the lotions that Kelly gave you.
We're only half full.
Oh, don't touch that bottle. It might be sticky.
We're here to help people get divorced. But
laughter muscles, man. We're exercising our laughter muscles.
When you go through a horrible divorce, you gotta laugh.
I'm sorry about that big old sniffle thing. I'm I can't breathe over here.
I'm going to wipe off the microphone later.
It's okay. You need my DNA. It's in there.
God. But you got to laugh, though. You got to laugh because this shit can be funny. It is.
It's
you got to laugh to keep from crying.
Unless you're going through it right now.
Well, even when you're going through it, sometimes you sit back and say, damn, that's some crazy shit.
Even I remember sitting and being even the day after some bullshit happened, I'm I can't believe I let that affect me so much because I once again gave into, okay, maybe he's trying to be a nice person or, someone's saying something or someone trying to give me power when I already knew I had power, but I didn't know my power. Mm-hmm. So a lot of my friends were well, just tell him this. And then I'd get in front of him and okay. So it's a lot of you have to, I think I always say self-speak, go in your head, be okay, you're going to do this. You're going to go to work today. You're going to take care of your patient. You're going to eat lunch today. You're going to prepare to have your son. What are we doing for dinner? At what time we're going to bed? Maybe we'll watch a movie, go to the park, blah, blah, blah. Just so you have that
plan.
And it can be the smallest thing as I need to shower today.
Yeah, today.
Today's the day.
Because you're hot and your teeth are falling out, but that's okay. But you got to shower.
You need to see the dentist.
Got to shower for your man.
Stop eating chicken wings with soft teeth.
Do you think I'm pretty?
I'm so pretty.
I had a shower today. Am I pretty? Yes.
I feel
people out there, please practice hygiene.
Because that's scratch and sniff. I tell you, it'll get you every time. What the hell? Now I just want to I keep smelling Fruity Pebbles. What the hell? You said fish. I'm like,
I-
go to a good place. Go to a
keep
good place.
smelling Count Chocola. But that's a different story. So back to the hurt, anger, and disappointment.
Okay.
So you make those baby steps in order to alleviate those, but they're still going to come around, And if you think that they go away forever, they don't. They always come back.
Yeah.
But they come back less and less and less and less.
I think I had more hurt than anger because I was done. Like I'd had anger up until I was done. And then
stages.
Yeah. So my anger came from finding out like financial stuff or, bullshit. Like just, I'm like, how am I so stupid? Like, I think a lot of my anger was self-reflection of like, how did you not know? Like, why did you not know? And then when one of my biggest things, I think, they always say the things, your love language and stuff like that are from your childhood and things that you missed. And I think I must have been told I wasn't smart or good enough or whatever that was. So now in my adult life, one of the most hurtful things is saying you're not smart. Like you don't get it, or you're stupid, or you're, blonde moment or something. That to me is more hurtful than you being like, oh, she had a hoe phase, or she did this, or she's not a good friend. Like just those things. But when it comes to me, like, because I'm smart, but I don't need to show you that I'm smart.
It was more personable.
Yeah. And so like, if someone were to say, you're not smart enough knowing your finances, I was trusting. Yeah. So I was giving excuses.
Those are two different things, though, trusting and smart.
Well, smart in my finances. Like I should have been more involved because I was involved when we lived in Jersey. Like,
shoulda,
and then I'm like, you know what?
Shoulda, woulda, coulda will drive you crazy.
Yeah, and that's my thing. So now I'm like, it doesn't affect me at all. I mean, it affects my credit score, but it doesn't affect me in my day to day. And it like, I probably need to buy a new car, and my brain is like, oh, my credit score is probably 700, and then how much more money am I going to put down? So it has affected me, but not emotionally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to buy a new car because mine's paid off. I don't want new car insurance on a new car. I don't want, registration on a new car. Like, so those things that if I had a better credit score because of my financial stuff 2 years ago affects me, but it's not, I'm not in bed for 3 days going, oh my God, I have $27 in the bank. I can't afford
because
to
if
eat.
you sit back and play armchair quarterback all day, you'll lose every time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And, what's the divorce equivalent of that? Because it lasts so long. A football game is a Sunday night.
Yep.
Monday. Okay, whatever. Divorce is, especially depending on how old your children are. Like Logan's 10. Like, I got 18 plus 4 plus weddings plus children plus this plus.
But you can't think that far ahead. And live day by day, step by step.
Part of that learning process of getting past the hurt, the anger, and the disappointment is, like you said, 1 minute at a time when you're early in it. And then it's like, oh, you know what? Today I did not think about being divorced once. And then it's, oh, I didn't think about it all month. And then I didn't think about it for 6 months. And then, oh, well, okay. Oh, yeah, by the way, I have to do a child drop-off every Sunday, but okay.
No big deal.
Yeah. But before, it's like, I'm not going to see my baby for like 3 days or,
Yeah.
And now it's like, oh, I just spent like 4 great days with him away and,
It's almost like concentrating on the positive than the negative. The negative will send you into a tailspin every time. But if you grab the positive instead of the negative or more positive than negative, you won't go down that rabbit hole.
Well, and I think, just from knowing each other, I feel like we do that generally. You're like, you know what? I can't live in that hurt. I can't, you said I lived in anger for a long time, and I lived in failure for a long time. Cause like, again, I think it goes back to being smart. Like I failed at like the stupidest things like finance. I failed at not knowing what my husband's doing. How do you not know? Like you live in the same house, and so being duped was another one. Like I feel like my whole life I've been duped, like from the parents I had, from the friends I have to, the friends I have now that have been from my childhood. Those are the people, they're my family. They're not even my friends.
But the fact you were duped made you into the person you are now.
Yeah.
You'd be a totally different person if you were having.
Well, I thank my mom for that all the time. Thank you for loving me the way you did, because I learned what I wasn't going to do.
Yep.
But I also know that some of the things that she did, especially after she passed, were her way of showing love. And so, like, we all have different ways of showing affection and showing, we care about someone. And it may not be words saying, I love you.
Yeah.
maybe teaching you how to make a pie or teaching you like how to sew or whatever. So my thing is, I may not be an expert in anything, but the knowledge I have, I want to share with my kids. And, that's why the podcast I think is so great, because I'm not an expert at this because I'm still new out of it. But my experience and your experience can help someone else,
So I always say that negative learning is some of the best learning you can do. Something that you don't want to be like I don't want to be like that person.
Yeah.
I don't want to do what that person did to me. I want to do something different with my life.
And I think, because my parents were alcoholics, when I was going through my divorce, I saw myself becoming my mother and not dealing, just being like, no, and just being an asshole. Like literally, like someone would say something like, no, I don't really need your advice. And that's one of the things, like my ex-best friend and I, she's like trying to give me advice. I'm like, I don't know why you're telling me this. You're living a worse experience and accepting more bullshit. I don't want your bullshit. I don't want your advice. And so, but I think that me being able to, realize that I need to be more of an asshole, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Because I was always like, oh, it's going to be great.
Because you got to be selfish. Selfish with your time and your healing.
And I always like reiterate too, like being selfish is not, being rude or being it's not being an asshole. It's being selfish. It's for you. You have to be selfish in order to like make boundaries and
kind of like forgiveness.
No, let's give no fucks. David, do you want me to get angry? You're going to give me anger.
All right. Parting words. We got 5 minutes.
Parting words? I don't know.
This went fast.
What do you think helped you get out of your anger? Like, was there like a light bulb moment, or do you just think it was a slow
when
process?
I went to the divorce recovery workshop, and I saw the light bulb moment was I saw other people in worse situations than me. I was like, man, why am I complaining?
Yeah,
my shit's not that bad, because I saw some crazy shit.
Do you think it gave you compassion or empathy for your ex? In small steps, because you're like, you know what, I'm going to let that go. I know that she's like that, and that doesn't mean that I have to react to her being that. I feel like that's how,
No.
Okay. And I said, before the podcast started, I was like, what perspective are we missing? Yeah. Because, there are sometimes like, well, yeah, maybe. And then on the spot, like, are we really like, what direction are we missing? Like we said, with bringing Angela back, she's new in it. And, sometimes I forget how hurt I was.
Yep.
And how
because you're further down the road and you don't remember all that stuff.
And I almost like, anger. I'm like, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, I was really angry, but I almost blocked it out because I wasn't angry. I didn't show my anger to him because then he won. Yep. If that makes sense. I would show it to my village, and they'd be like,
they would pull you out of your comfort zone.
Yeah. And they'd be like, well, okay, well, and a lot of times they feel like they'd be like, okay, so I want a negative, a positive, and a neutral. So the negative was like, okay, how is this going to affect you negatively? How is this going to affect you positively? And what's the point that you want to, like, when you get to that neutral, you're going to be able to look at both ends. Mm-hmm. And you need to live in that neutral a little bit so that you're not too far left or right on that, negative or positive. You don't even like, it's going to affect my son. Well, it's going to affect me not eating. Like, I don't have any money. I can't go out. Well, if we ask you to go out, we can pay for a drink or, like stupid stuff. But it was, okay, I do have options, where when you're in the middle of, you're like, I have no options. Yep. And I think, a lot of people get sucked into that anger hole or that depression hole, and that, if I just wasn't here, or, and I've said this before, this is the worst thing ever. And people will say, like, if the other person just died, it'd be easier because I can grieve them. Or I'm trying to be honest. It almost, if a death happened, we could grieve it, move on from it, learn from it. But that person keeps coming back at you. So
word.
So yeah, see, and I'm like, and sometimes when we have those thoughts, it's not normal. Nope. I mean, it's very normal to be like.
But sometimes they feel so good, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
But they're not normal. And it's probably shouldn't have those, but I think that's part of the healing process too.
And I think you go through all those like deep down, like, oh, these are terrible thoughts. Mm-hmm. But you need to go through this healing process to get out of those deep, dark spots, And the other thing, a lot of people, I know a couple people who have ended their lives because they can't handle it.
So dark.
And so, you know, you need to reach out and maybe listen to a podcast or go to group therapy or, you know, find your happy, like if it's nature, if it's art, if it's reading books, writing a book, write, even if the book's never published, write your feelings, you do something that brings you out of all these things. Cause divorce can, you know,
suck you in.
And it literally like devil,
Yep.
you know, so.
All right, everybody. That's like 29:54. Bam. Woo. So once again, we talked about how to get past the hurt, anger, and disappointment, and had a little fun doing it.
And you have any questions or, you know, if we're missing any, like.
1, 2, 3.
I want to fuck your whole face. No, so if you have any questions or any things that you want us to talk about, I mean, if we're missing any perspective, like we said, we're going to try to get our Angela back on. And, you know, if you're newly divorced or you're thinking about divorce or you're trying to work through your marriage, just, you know, shoot us a line.
Yeah. All right, everybody. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
Have a good night. Bye.